All right, welcome back to day 7 of our Discovering Greatness, our fearless greatness, right? Our invoking our reality, creating it, making it real. So day 7, yesterday we talked about our dream. Is it our dream? Is it our goals? Is it our purpose, or is it our passion? Or are you obsessed? Is it something that you truly want? Is it something that you want for yourself? And so when we talk about putting that into play, once we can figure out what we truly want, we then can start moving towards something, right? We can start taking ourselves and orienting our life to move towards something. But as we move towards something, a lot of times we get so caught on the end result. We get so stuck on this concept of the end result. And what happens is when we do that, we get locked into something that may change. It may change its form, it may change its direction, it may change its meaning, its purpose to us. And when it does that, we get let down. And so day 7 is detaching from certainty. And what that means is we have an end goal that we'd like, but we detach ourselves, we pull away from the exact outcome that we think that we want, while still having goals to get there. And I'm going to sum this whole concept up right here in this first 2 minutes and break it down by saying, when we detaching from our certainty means to let go of our insecurity. This insecurity comes from our minds. It comes from our mind from overly attaching to a concept of our past. When we attach to our past, this is us settling on the known and only being comfortable to take action or make decisions if things are actually known for our safety. So we fall into the comfort zone, we fall into the safety. This is what this is all about. So to reach a level of greatness that we absolutely deserve, to reach that level of reality and creation that we can have for ourselves, we have to let go of our past. And we have to start trusting in the uncertainty of our future. Now, our insecurity or our security to the past comes from our conditioning of being in fear, from living in here. And it comes from not being able to let go of the unknown. Now, there's also these terrible structural patterns, these structures of our mental and emotional programming, where in our upbringing, in our adulthood, we never got taught how to be powerful, how to realize how powerful we are. And we never were shown how much we can actually create, how much within ourselves we can actually create. And when we have this style of thinking, when we have this style of believing in ourselves, it puts us in a creative and self-confidence prison. And no one wants to live in prison, I would imagine. No prison by any means, especially not this one when you want to start creating something that you want. So yesterday we talked about, again, our dreams, our passions, our intentions, our goals. Like, what do we set on? What is going to set our heart on fire? And what do we feel our soul or our passion or our heart is calling us to do? And in realizing those things, a lot of times people find that and that they still can't go get it. What keeps us from actualizing and creating the reality that we want for ourselves really comes down to 2 things, is our focus and our commitment. Through our focus on an end goal, this far out thing, this Mount Everest that we don't really know of yet, we just know it's there, we want it. The best part about this is we need to learn to give up our attachment to the end result, because things are going to change and they're going to move and the winds are going to turn and our thoughts are going to go and our emotions are going to pull and things in our life are going to happen. And we have to be willing to accept how to always turn and pivot to make the things that we want become our reality. And when we can do that, this is where the power comes in and how we create. When we can detach from the certainty of our end results. I'm not saying give up the end goal. I'm not saying forget about that, but I'm saying forget about thinking this thing is linear, that there's only one way there, that there can be a million ways to get there. For lack of better analogies, think of this. You are born And as a born spirit, your end goal really is dying, is death. Again, like I said, lack of better analogies. Anything in between birth and death, a billion things can happen, but you don't get caught up on that. You don't just think, I'm going straight to death. All I want to do is get to death. You know that you have all these things that you want to do in between getting there. It's the same thing with your goals, your dreams. We need to find a way to not let that end result be what holds us back. When you do that, you create an unwavering faith within yourself. You create unquestioning belief that you can and deserve what's at the end of what you're looking to receive. Now, through that process, you're actually taking a step in the process of detaching from your certainty, from detaching from certainty. You are taking a step to empowering yourself in many ways. You're empowering your authentic ego self, which we've already talked about ego. You are starting to rewrite your stories, and you are believing in the words that you're saying and believe in. And not only that, you're trusting in your purpose by locking into your intentions of something that you know and believe that you deserve, that you have, that you can acquire, and that is rightfully yours. Now, I know I keep bringing up fear, and tomorrow I'm actually going to talk some more about fear, but it is super critical to know that attachment is a fear-based quality. Attachment is a deep-rooted insecurity that we carry. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound very nice, but your attachments, your stronghold on attachments, are a deep-rooted insecurity. Being insecure is when we don't truly believe in ourselves. That's what insecurity means. So think about when you're insecure about something else in your life. It's because you don't believe in yourself. It's an insecurity in the powers that you actually have. It's an insecurity in the gifts that you possess. Now, sadly enough, our old programming from the past has led us to chase material items. Now, this is going to tie into our attachment to certainty. So our programming of chasing material items has created this idea that it gives us happiness. It gives us happiness. And we don't distinguish between happiness and joy. Now, this type of happiness, attachment to things, is temporary. Happiness in this way is a temporary, fleeting feeling. And these feelings don't last. Think about it. Think about if you had a goal, buying a car, buying a home. Maybe it was, I don't know, investing in something. Maybe it was finally getting some Bitcoin. I don't know. But once you got them, you're like, oh, great, I got it. Great. Now what, right? So this attachment to things like money, cars, clothes, homes, shiny objects, oh, squirrel. Now, don't get me wrong. These things are great. They're part of our society. And there's many things in my life that I truly enjoy that are in those categories. But we have to choose not to chase them. We have to choose not to become attached to having them or not being able to let go of them. That's one thing. You might chase something so long and you finally acquire it. You've put all this time, effort, energy, passion, money into getting something. And then you don't want to let go of it because you're so wrapped so tightly around it. You're fearful of letting it go. And that is holding you back. I want to give you an example of that. That might make a little bit more sense of how the universe wants to create for you. How the outside world, from our stories, our words, how we think, all start to create the world we live in. Now, we can go all the way back into day 2, 3, and 4. Now, think about this. Think about if you were caught in a super strong windstorm. I don't want to say hurricane because you might fly away, but I just want to say super intense, strong hurricane, and you're outside. What would you first do? Sure, you probably look for cover or look for something you can grab a hold of. Get close to, get real tight, right? You'd seek something that you can get secure on and you can lock onto so you can feel safe. You can find a place of safety in this moment. Once you grab a hold of that something, what do? You get rigid, you get strong, and you hold on for as tight as you, or as long as you can, as tight as you can, to give you that sense of security, right? Now, in that moment, while you're feeling safe and secure, you're frozen solid, right? You're completely secure where you are, you're rigid, and you're unmovable. in that moment, it's great. But when we get locked into things about our past and our future, when we're wanting to create for our lives, we're putting ourselves in this strong wind type moment. We're putting ourselves in this windstorm. And what we're doing is we're standing there in a present moment, fearful of letting things go. The wind in this story, this analogy, this example is my representation of the universe flowing around you. It's the world trying to conspire for you to help you acquire what you want. But while you are locked into place of your past and your future, and you're so rigid and you're frozen in place, while you are locked there, you are not allowing the flow of creation to encompass you and to involve you in its creative process. And instead, all of it's flowing right past you. And if you continue to remain in that rigid insecurity, and you're totally fearful of letting go because of all this uncertainty that's out there, past or future, end goal, things that you've acquired, the things that you seek out, if you can't let go, they're going to escape you, and they're going to continue to outrun you. And they're going to continue to remain out of reach. When you live life in this way, rigid, secure, frozen in place, don't want to let go, it's going to take a real toll on you. And you might have already experienced something of that nature. What happens is you become stagnant. Your life gets into disorder. Your emotions and your thoughts start to decay because all you are is stuck right here. There's no growth, there's no flow. And your conscious thinking, which is the present moment, it starts to die. It starts to fade away because it feels that you don't need it. Like you're so stuck in this one moment, you don't want to allow the creation to happen around you. Now, the key is to start stepping into the unknown more and more in your life, in places that are, like, look at it as like steps. Label your steps in what's within your boundary limits, right? I'm not saying go jump out of a plane if you're afraid of heights, but try to find areas of your life where you can actually invite the uncertainty into your life without creating harm. This type of an invitation is going to activate your childhood-like state again. This is what I've talked about earlier, is we got to get back to a childhood-like state. If you think about how a child acts in its life, it's not fearful of all these things unless we're telling a child, no, 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 don't do that, don't do this. Child just wants to learn, it just wants to try. So when you do that, when you create this state of this childhood-like wonder, you're opening yourself up for more possibilities and more outcomes. You're even doing so for your goals and your intentions in the long run, and what you want to become, and what you want to achieve in life. Those all start to open up for you. The doors start to just release themselves. This, I feel, is like a recipe for success. And it might sound like, again, we talk about these recipes, but when you are preparing, this is how I see success. When you're preparing now, when you start getting into the act of preparing, opportunities are going to show up. Opportunities will come. But when they come, are you ready? Are you prepared? So if you're preparing now, when those opportunities show up, you're prepared, and you're going to be able to take the chances to step into the unknown, into the uncertainty, because you've built these qualities within yourself right now to walk forward into that. And that's where you're going to find success. That's where you're going to find your greatness. That's where you're going to find the reality that you want to live. That's where you're going to start seeing your talents and your gifts start exploding out into the world. Now, as we end this day, I want to leave you again with another activity, and you're going to need your journal. So I invite you to take a hard look at the things in your life that you are fearful of letting go of. Could those be emotions of the past, relationships, loved ones, ideas of yourself? Could these things be objects, cars, money, jobs? These are sometimes things that people that define people, and these definitions of people that have defined, put a definition on someone's life, people become afraid to let that go because they feel like, again, here's the uncertainty and the unknown. I don't know who I'll be without them. Okay, so is it money? Is it money that gets you caught up in not chasing your dreams? The uncertainty if your dreams will work, if your passions and talents will be accepted, if you will make money in doing this. Is money your limiter? Is it the one that's holding you back? Whatever it is, list them down. It doesn't matter. Remember, this is your book. This is your journal. When we bring awareness to the things that may be keeping us from excelling, we can either find ways to get rid of them, or what I usually like to do is, if I can't fully get rid of them, I like to find ways to reutilize them in my life so that they can empower me. There's always a way out. There's always a way through. There's always a way to overcome. Happy investigating on detaching from your uncertainty, detaching from certainty, accepting and inviting more unknown and uncertainty in your life. I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 8 for creating a relationship with our fears. Take care. Love y'all.